All right, I'm going to get started without further ado. So first of all, thank you for joining this OddsMonkey webinar. This is how to learn match betting in under an hour. My name's Steve Troe, and I've been making sort of very good profits on match betting for longer than I care to remember. I'm going to say at least 10 years. It's been a long time. So I should be able to guide you through the process, hopefully quite neatly, from how to get started with your first profits, things to look out for. I'll be going through actual live examples. We'll see what odds are available today. So I'll walk you through as if you were actually placing the bets yourself. I've got some screenshots of previous bets that I've placed, which will hopefully then illustrate what you're looking for when you're getting your free bets and making your money. So first of all, if there's any questions at the end of the session, please pop them in the chat, or if there's a Q&A section active, there may be an option there for you to sort of pop a question in. And then at the end of the session, I'll gladly sort of go through them and give you all any answers to questions you've got. So without further ado, once you've registered for a free OddsMonkey account, you'll be presented with this dashboard, which is the free members area. So it's quite neat, quite clean. And the obvious place we're going to go through tutorials: one for match betting intro, betting exchanges, the odds matcher, and then you've got various bookies that you can make some profits with. So first things first, I'm not going to go into each one of these and just basically bore you to death by reading all the information that's on the screen. I'm just going to try and illustrate around the point. So the first question in terms of a match betting intro would be, what is match betting? So match betting in its simplest form is just a way of taking advantage of bookmakers' promotions to make profits. So I'm sure you've probably seen at some point a bookmaker advert, be that in a newspaper, online, over the radio. I'm sure you've seen an advert, whether it's in a bookie shop window, there they offer you something along the lines of bet £10 and we'll give you £10 free money, £10 free bet. So it's the way that they entice people to join bookmakers. They if you put some of your own money up, they will give you some of their money for free. So we can turn these opportunities into real cash thanks to match betting. So if you have an offer such as bet £10, get a £10 free stake, well, thanks to the power of betting exchanges, we're now able to unlock that. So, for example, at a bookmaker, when you bet on something to happen, you need that thing to happen. So if you bet on a football team to win, that football team needs to win in order for you to win any money. Well, betting exchanges came along, notably Betfair, and they changed things around so that you're now able to bet against something happening. So, for example, let's just say we've got a tennis match where there's only two players. So, in essence, there's two possible outcomes. You can go to the bookmaker and you place a bet on a player to win. And then you go over to the exchange and you place what's known as a lay bet, where you're going against the same player to win. So effectively, you've got two bets: one bet on the player to win, and one bet on the player not to win. So the two cancel each other out. And thanks to a little bit of sort of mathematics, but which is all done for you, by the way, thanks to a little bit of maths, we managed to go through that process, and profits will pop out at the end. So that'll all become clear as I do an actual sort of live practical example. But essentially, match betting is just a way of taking advantage of bookmakers' promotions. So within the match betting intro, I'll just have a quick glance in there. You'll see you've got a nice video. If you can make it full screen, that's sort of 3 minutes long. So that's for at your own leisure. You can get into the Facebook group with OddsMonkey, which is free if you're on Facebook. And then on the actual page itself, there's lots and lots of really clear explanations, nice infographics, etc. So that's obviously your starting point. Then on to the betting exchanges. So the first thing we're going to do is look at joining a betting exchange. So the one that most people have heard of is Betfair. Betfair is the biggest and was pretty much the first betting exchange to come around, and it's the sort of the starting point would recommend that you join, which is obviously why it's in at tutorial number 2. So if you sign up to Betfair, there's another reason why you want to do it sort of from here as well, is if you go to Betfair Direct, for example, you pay 5% commission as standard. You can reduce it down to 2%. However, OddsMonkey and Betfair do have a deal together. So if you join via OddsMonkey, via any of the sort of links on this page, you'll pay 0% on your first lot of commission up to £500. And if you're wondering what the commission is, well, the way that betting exchanges make money is betting exchanges is essentially end users such as you and I placing bets against one another. It's like, you know, having a bet with your mate down the pub type thing. So it's real people placing bets against one another, differing opinions. Only one of those people will win, and whoever wins then pays Betfair a commission. That's how Betfair make their money. They're not bothered who wins or loses. They just want to take their percentage on all of the winning bets. So via this deal, you can get 0%, which is obviously better than 2% or 5%. So it's a good place to start. Betfair is a very nice interface, very robust and easy to use. So if you click on any of the sort of buttons here, I'm going to try and open this in a incognito window, just because I've got my own account. You can see this is going through a thing. You saw that it came up with a safe URL sort of redirect. So that's just the first point to clear up, that whenever you see links to bookmakers or exchanges on OddsMonkey, if you're worried about, oh, hang on, should I be clicking a link from here? Are they going to know where I've come from? The answer is it's perfectly safe to do so, because OddsMonkey have some software that they employ, which then basically redirects the link. So when you land at Betfair, when you land anywhere, they don't know exactly where you've come from. They don't know you've come from OddsMonkey, which is obviously a wise thing to do. So we've landed at the Betfair page. Just going to accept the cookies. 0% commission up to £500 exchange. That's exactly what we're expecting to see. So the first sort of pointer really, whenever you're reading through any offer on the site, always make sure that what you're expecting to see, so in this case, 0% commission up to £500, always make sure what you're expecting to see is what you actually see once you arrive at the page. So we're now on here. I'm obviously not going to teach you to sort of suck eggs with this. So basically go through the sign up, pop your name and address in there. One of the things I will draw your attention to is down on the sort of opt-ins. I would recommend that, I've just highlighted there in blue. Hopefully you can see that. Just down near the join now button, I've highlighted in blue. It's the opt-in about receiving marketing communications from Betfair. Now, 99 times out of 100 online, when you're signing up for anything or buying anything, you're probably not going to sign up to receive further marketing emails from wherever it is, whatever shop. However, when it comes to Betfair and betting sites in particular, I'm going to recommend that you do, for a very simple reason. These companies are going to keep sending you emails of offers of free bets to come back and bet with them. And those emails, those free bets, are what are also going to make you profits over the long term, rather than just when you initially sign up. So you want to make sure you're receiving them as often as possible. Once you've got your account open, you can actually choose how you want to receive them. So whether it be by email, SMS or post, you can say, I only want to receive email. I don't want anything through the post. I don't want anything by text. That's fine. You can choose your preferences from there. The other point I'd probably make is when you're starting out, the email address up at the top, set yourself a new email address up, you know, specifically for match betting, rather than using your personal email address. You're going to receive a lot of emails from bookies if you do opt into the marketing, and it's probably best to have a ring-fenced account so you're not spamming your day-to-day email. So once you've got your Betfair account open and you've popped some funds in, then we're going to be ready to go on and place our first bets with a bookmaker and make our first profits. So I'll just get rid of these highlights off the screen like so, and we should go back to OddsMonkey. Right. So just go back to the dashboard. And before we get on to, we're going to go through Sky Bet today. It says we can make about £16 profit. So we'll see how close we get to that today. Tutorial 3, I'll be going through the odds matcher, like I say, live. I'll be going through it and showing you exactly how it works in terms of placing the bets in a minute. But just to show you the inside of this page, you once again have a full list of all of the information that's pertinent and relevant to the odds matcher guide. And once again, there's a nice helpful video which you can obviously full screen to make sure you're getting everything alongside it, which can, I'll just put another highlight up. Sometimes people miss this, but just there where I've highlighted green alongside the watch the video, you've got the read the guide tab. So if you give that a click, you then get a rather lengthy guide which breaks down all the little sections. I'll be covering these as we go through, but that's a really useful point. I mean, you cover it in the video, but also it's also nice to have almost like a paper version to refer back to. So anything that I go through today, anything that I cover, don't worry if you don't sort of catch it or you forget something. I don't know if you're making notes. You will be able to obviously get the same sort of information within here later on, and there will be a recording in the webinar as well, which will be posted out in the usual places. Over on tutorial 4, we're now going to start placing our first bets. So just needed a sip of water then. Right, Sky Bet. So we've got our Betfair account open. We now need to join a bookmaker, and we need to place a bet with the bookmaker to release some free money. So in this particular example at Sky Bet, we can see that the offer is everything laid out clearly. The type of bet, we're going to bet £5. That's our own cash, £5 of our own cash, and we're going to receive a £20 free bet. So sounds like a good deal to me. Every bookmaker guide, when you're looking at signing up at bookmakers, the tutorials cover, you get sort of a synopsis of what's going on in the guide. So, we're getting the offer broke down, opening the account, placing the qualifying bet, placing your free bets, calculating your profits, and then a recap of what you did and why you did it. So if I scroll down here, see the breakdown of the offer. This is a really, really useful box of information here. It tells you the deposit amount required and method. So we need to deposit £5 via a debit card. The minimum odds, this is crucial. Please make sure you pay attention to all of this. All I'll ever say with any bookmaker offer, any offer that you're doing at any point ever, whether it's a sign-up offer or a regular sort of ongoing offer, any offer that you are doing, make sure you go line by line. If you go methodically down line by line and pay attention to what's been written, then you won't go far wrong. Mistakes happen, or free bets don't get awarded sometimes when people basically miss out an important point. So a very important point that people tend to miss, like a common error, let's say, is minimum odds. So the minimum odds here are 2.00. So that's even money. So 2.0 or above to qualify for the free bet. So if the odds are below that, you don't place the bet. So when will the free bet be added? Within 24 hours of settling. Free bet type, it is stake not returned. I'll explain that in a minute. And it tells you the odds to use to maximize the profits. How much should you make? Approximately £16. Very good. And finally, I'll just clear that. It's getting a bit cluttered. Finally, the last point there is available funds required. So how much do you need to get started with this? So it says they're going to recommend you need at least £100 available in your exchange account. You can actually get started with less than this. You can get started with 50 quid quite easily in your exchange. However, this is one of those, if you've got a little bit more, you'll make more money from the free bet. However, making any money from the free bet is better than making no money. So, it just depends how much money you've got available to start. You could certainly start with 50 quid. £100 would be better. £150 would be better still. But either way, you'll still make profits from this. We'll see the difference in profits a little bit later as we go down the page. So first things first, and I'll rattle through this because I'm sure you've all opened a million different things online before, is opening your Sky Bet account. So you're going to get to the bookmaker. As I've mentioned, you can click the Visit Sky Bet Offer button, which will take you to Sky Bet. That takes you through the safe URL. So Sky Bet don't know where you're coming from. They don't know you've come there from OddsMonkey. Always check that what you see is what you're expecting to see. So we can see here £20 in free bets when you place a £5 free bet. Excellent. So you can then look to get registered and you'll pop your details in from there all the way down the right, first name, second name, and so on and so forth. You'll get to the end. It'll ask you to put you're basically going to ask for all the usual details, your name, address, your date of birth to make sure you're over the age of 18. It's then going to ask you to enter a payment card and choose an amount to deposit. So in this one, you need to deposit £5. So that's the account open. I shall now take us back to the guide. And we'll keep scrolling down. There's further info here. In fact, what I'll do is I'll pick it up at step 4. So we've basically got to step 3, which is adding the funds. You've registered your account. You've popped your £5 in. All of match betting, sort of the lay odds at exchanges work in decimal odds. So you may be used to, if you're a regular sort of better of old, as it were, as well, like myself, be used to fractional odds. Fractional odds are still used when you see horse racing on TV and things like that. You'll see 2-1, 5-2, 13-2, all that type of stuff. However, with match betting, the exchanges are all in decimal odds. Therefore, to make things easier, when we're looking at the bookmaker odds, we like to have things in decimal odds there, so you can compare like with like, and it just makes the brain a little bit less taxing on the brain. So when you sign up to a bookmaker, quite often they are by default in fractions, so you're going to want to switch them to decimal odds. There's a little guide here with screenshots showing you how to do that. However, here's one I prepared earlier. He says, if I can find the correct tab, I'm actually logged into my Sky Bet account in the incognito. So over on the right hand side of the page, you see all the details, and if I highlight that section there that says edit account details, about halfway down the page, just below. If I click into there, you'll then see it's come up with further options on there. When you've got odds format, I'll click into there, and I then have the options from a drop-down menu to choose fractional or decimal odds and then submit the changes. It's as simple as that. Once you've done it once, it remembers your selection by popping a cookie on your computer, so you don't have to do that every time you log in. It's a one-off event. So that's the decimal odds. We're now going to get to the exciting bit, which is finding what's known as a qualifying bet. So in order for us to receive a free bet, we need to place a bet which qualifies for the free bet. So we're going to do that by placing our own money. And if you remember, sort of at the start of the offer, we need to place a £5 bet to receive £20 of free bet. So the £5 bet is going to be our own money, and that's going to qualify us to receive the free bet. So OddsMonkey has its own proprietary software called the Odds Matcher, which searches all of the odds at pretty much all of the bookies and then looks at the corresponding lay odds where you can back, you go against the selection that you've backed at the bookmaker, you lay against it, so you cancelling the bet out. And it has all the exchanges in there too. So we're now going to go into the Odds Matcher. There's conveniently a big button at the start which says open the Odds Matcher. It's worth pointing out that the Odds Matcher is available from the tools menu up there. You can just go straight into the Odds Matcher, but we're not going to do that, and I don't recommend you do that when you're opening new bookmaker accounts, because if you go straight from there, you're just going to get all the bookmakers available and you're going to get all the exchanges and all of the events. Whereas if you go in using the link from within the welcome guide, it will be specific to that bookmaker and to that welcome guide. So when I click this link, it'll open in a new tab, and it should take care of the fact that we need to bet at minimum odds of 2. So we shouldn't see any selections with odds below that. So that's already sort of taken care of it for us. It should only bring us back results from Sky Bet. So we shall do that. Open the odds matcher. And indeed, oh, let me just confirm that. That's, you'll get asked the same question. That's a one-time thing by OddsMonkey. Right, I'm going to scroll down there. You can see that it mentions this is a free version. The odds matcher and premium membership gives access to over 90 bookmakers. I think it's probably close to over 150 actually. But anyway, let's clear those highlights down. So this is the odds matcher. First things first, don't be overwhelmed. There's a lot of information. Yes, I know there is. And there's percentages and there's things everywhere. You don't need to be too concerned. You're just going to follow a very simple process by following the guide, and everything will become clear. Later down the line, some of the things that are not relevant now, obviously as your skills and your knowledge develops, may become more relevant, and you may get really into the sort of the nitty gritty of it all. But although there's a lot of information, you don't need to be overwhelmed. But first things first, I'll just sort of run across left to right and see what's what. So time and the date, so 23rd of February, that's today, 6 p.m. We've got, and then you can see there's a football, which indicates it's a football match. I'll just see if I can make this page bigger, perhaps, for people. Probably helps a little bit. The bet type, so what we're betting on, which is the draw. Then we have the type, which is basically the market. So I'm just going to highlight as we go along. So the type of bet, it says match odds. So that's where you back in sort of the home team, either the draw or the away team. So that's known as the match odds market. It could say correct score at some point, and you may be backing a team to win by a particular scoreline, like Leeds to win 1-0 or Southampton to win 0-1, for example. So there's different types available, but more often than not, if you're looking at football, the type you're going to see is match odds. Okay, the rating, that's a percentage, so 98.54%. When we're looking at bets to place, if a rating ever appears with a rating of over 100%, that's what's known in the industry as an ARB, like arbitrage betting. They'll be highlighted in red, and we advise that you stay away from them, as bookmakers don't like them. It's basically when the odds at the bookmaker are higher than they are at the exchange. So bookies are not too keen on that at all. So we try and stay away from them. SNR percentage, that's relating to the free bets. You don't need to concern yourself with that at this minute. So again, don't worry about it at this stage. There's a little blue information button. We'll be clicking that shortly. That's the main crux of the odds matcher for us to calculate our bets that we need to place. The bookmaker shows which bookmaker this selection is at. So you can see it's a column full of Sky Bet, which is what we expect. It says back. These are the back odds. This is the odds available at the bookmaker. Again, if you look all the way down that column, you'll see that all of them are a minimum of 2 or above, which is what we require to qualify for the bet. We can see the exchange that the lay odds are available at. So we have Smarkets and we have Betfair. What I'll do in a minute is I'll tidy this up so we'll only see Betfair, because Betfair is the one we're using for the example. And we can next see the lay odds, which indicate the odds available at the exchange. And finally, it says avail, which is basically available. So that's the amount of money available, the amount of liquidity available at the exchange, because the money at the exchange waiting to be bet against is, generated and put in there by real people. So that differs from day to day, from minute to minute, depending on who's match what bet against whom. So the money available, that will become relevant as we go to the free bets, because when we're betting a fiver, you're never going to see anything with less than a fiver on here. You're always going to have money to bet against. if you're getting a £50 free bet at some stage, which will happen if you go into some of the larger offers later on, then you need to make sure you've got enough money to bet against. So I'll clear all these highlights down, and we'll pick one of these to sort of walk through. In fact, I'm going to clear down, I'm going to get rid of Smarket. So if I just scroll up just a tiny bit, I'll get my highlighter going. So this is sort of giving you a nice little tour. So I'm highlighting there right in the middle at the top of the odds matcher. You can see it says filter. So I'm going to click into there. And you can see that it's a really powerful tool. And again, don't be overawed. You don't need to do all this at this stage. I'm just doing it for the purposes of here to give you a quick demo. But starting from left to right, if you wish, you could limit the sports. So if you only wanted to see horse racing, you only wanted to see football, basketball, cricket, you can see them on there. You can limit the market. So even if you don't want to look at, say, only football, but you only want to see match odds, or you only want to see the correct score or overs, unders, you can just choose which ones you want to see. Limiting the bookmakers, Sky Bet's obviously chosen, or pre-done for us. Exchanges, there are 4 exchanges available: Betfair, Betdax, Smarkets, and Matchbook. Betfair and Smarkets tend to get most of the action. Betfair due to its size, Smarkets due to its commission and liquidity, I would say. The other 2 both have guides within OddsMonkey to join and make some money from their sign-up offers. Obviously, it depends what offers they've got on at the present moment. But what I'm going to do is untick Smarkets. So I've unticked Smarkets, and then down at the bottom here, it says apply filter. I'm going to click that button, which will then refresh the whole page below. And you'll see that Smarkets disappears from the list, and we're just left with Betfair. So that's the only change I'm making at this point. We'll come on to some of the other settings perhaps in a little bit. So I'm just going to close that filter box now. So you can see that on the page we have Sky Bet and Betfair. So those are the 2 that we're working with today. So first up, we've got a choice here. We could choose a football match for the first bet, or we could choose a horse race for the first bet. I'll just go with the first one on the list for this. Perhaps we'll do a horse race for the free bet when we come back to do the free bet in a few minutes' time. So first up, we have Bolton v Scunthorpe, and we're going to bet back the draw in that particular match. So we're going to click the eye, the blue eye, the information circle, which will bring up this little modal. So it presents the information. And again, good practice for you is as you're going through, because believe it or not, it can be easy if you've got a busy day or you get distracted. If you've got a lot of football matches, perhaps you've even got Bolton v Scunthorpe and you've got match odds. So that's a home draw or away win. But below that, perhaps you had Bolton v Scunthorpe and it could be like, say, correct score or over under so many goals. And you may think you're clicking the match odds and you click something else and you're not looking at the correct information. So always perform these little mental checks as you go. So I'm expecting to see Bolton v Scunthorpe and the bet to be the draw. So when I click that, I've not accidentally clicked the row below yet. So Bolton v Scunthorpe, correct. And we can see here on the left-hand side, the draw, the back bet, the bet we're placing at the bookmaker is a draw. And the odds are 3.4. At the exchange, you'll notice this is a nice shiny pink, as it was on the odds matcher. The whole column is in pink for the lay bet. That will become clear in just a minute. Think pink with your lay bets and you won't go wrong. So on here, we can see that's in pink. So we know we're looking at the correct information. Down at the bottom of there, I'll just get a highlight on it. There's a button there that says show calculator. So we click there and now it opens up the expanded calculator. I'll just highlight again, starting at the top, just so I can get the highlight working. Again, this is one of these things at first glance, blimey, what's going on, lots of information. Don't be overawed. All you've got to do is refer to this. You're not on your own, back in the guide, it tells you, it's all highlighted. It tells you exactly which things to click. So On the top, it says normal, qualifier / ARB. So our first bet that we're going to be doing is a qualifying bet. So where it says there, this is a normal bet, it's a qualifying bet. So where it says qualifier, by default, that is selected. Along the top, the other options, these are for when you get free bets. Free bet SNR, stake not returned. That is going to be 99% of the other bets that you place, to be perfectly honest. So the reason all it says stake not returned is if you get a £10 free bet and you place a bet and it wins at the bookmaker, and let's say it wins at odds of 5 to 1. So you bet £10 at 5 to 1, it wins at 5 to 1. Your return from the bookmaker will be £50. You'll get £50 cash into your account. You will not get the stake amount returned along with it. So when you bet your own money, if you bet £10 on something at 5 to 1, you would get a return of £60. So that's £50 of winnings and the £10 stake returned. So when you get a free bet, you don't get the stake returned. There is an option for free bet stake returned. That happens very, very infrequently. I mean, years ago that used to be commonplace, but not so much nowadays. And finally, risk-free bets, which again is a slightly more advanced way of different way of using free bets, and nothing that we need to worry about today. That's for a little bit further down your journey. There's dozens of the type of bet we're going to go through now. There's dozens of those to go through. That'll be your first several weeks worth of profits. So we don't need to worry about the risk-free bet. So don't worry about all the other options. We're just going to get stuck into what we need. So we've got the normal qualifier selected. Sky bet stake, it says £10 there. So we know we only need to do 5. I'm just going to click in there and type 5. Simple as. I've just clicked anywhere and that's just updated. So the Sky bet odds 3.4, Sky bet commission, there's no commission at the bookmaker. Betfair odds, the lay odds are 3.4, and the Betfair commission is, we're going to be on the 0% deal. Once you've signed up for Betfair and you've got your 0% deal sort of kicked in there, within your settings in OddsMonkey, you can link your OddsMonkey account to Betfair. There's no issue with that, and that'll automatically pull through your commission rate into the odds matcher and your OddsMonkey account. So if you're on 0%, it will automatically populate it here, so you don't have to do it every time. But for the purposes of this, I'm just going to have to type it in. So 0%. And we can see that this is now a 2-step process. And I'll get the highlight tool ready again. So step 1 is here and step 2 is here. So step 1, we're going to go to Sky Bet and we're going to bet £5 at odds of 3.4, and we're going to be backing that on the draw. So the simplest thing to do is where it actually says go to Sky Bet, if we click that, and I'll clear these highlights off the screen, you can see it's gone through the safe URL and it's taken us straight to, I'll get the highlights again, taken us straight to Bolton versus Scunthorpe, which you can see there highlighted at the top. Full-time result, we've got, that's the home win on the left, we've got the draw in the middle, and we've got the win on the right. So these, we're on the correct page. All this tallies up to what we're expecting to see. So again, you're always checking that what you're actually seeing is what you're expecting to see. So we've got the draw. It's the draw that we're supposed to be backing. As I'm not logged in, it's not showing in decimals. But if I click it over on the right hand side, it's come up, draw at 12 to 5. So just to highlight the point, if I just pop a pound in there, you can see, I'll get the highlight on it again. You can see that £1 would return £3.40. So if I go back to here, the odds are 3.4. So we know that that's the correct odds albeit they're in fractions. So without me getting the calculator on the screen. So all we do now is we need to bet £5. So you put your stake in as £5. You would have £5 in your account. And then down in the bottom right-hand sort of corner, there'd be a button there which says place bet, and you would place the bet and you would then get a confirmation that your bet has been placed with Sky Bet. And then that's you done on this first step. Back to the odds matcher, we now need to do step 2, which is go to Betfair and lay £5 at odds of 3.4. and it says the liability will be £12. So for this bet at the minute, where it says that the liability will be £12, that's how much we need in the exchange in Betfair to cover this bet. So far we need £5 in Sky Bet and we need £12 in Betfair. So we're £17 in so far. Okay, so again, you can click the go to Betfair link. I'll do this in an incognito window because I'm probably in my own account. It'll go through the safe URL and takes us straight to the Bolton v Scunthorpe page. I'll accept the cookies. So this is another one. Don't be overawed. There's lots of information, lots of numbers here. If you remember me saying, all you need to do is think pink. So on that basis, if I can get the right screen open, you'll notice here, this is in pink. You know, the go to Betfair section is in pink, and we're looking for the odds of 3.4. So all we're looking for is the pink lay odds for this, which if I get this open and clear these highlights down, we're looking for the draw, which you can see I'm just highlighting now all the way across. So that's the draw, that row, and then there, that pink one I've just highlighted, so it's now green. If you click that, it pops up, it says you're laying, i.e. you're betting against. So we're betting against the draw. The odds are 3.4, which is exactly what we expect to see. And it says to lay £5 at odds of 3.4, and our liability will be £12. These are all little things we're going to check. So £5, and you can see on the right there, the liability is £12. So everything is as you would expect to see. What you then do is click place bets. On the exchange, an important point to note, when you place a bet with a bookmaker and you click place bets, that's your bet placed. At an exchange, when you click place bets, it then pops up and says confirm bets. So you have to do it. It's like a 2-click process. And that's the same on Betfair, same on Smarkets. So just make sure you click it twice, and then it'll pop up in here and you'll get confirmation. I've got some screenshots of that coming up in a minute for the free bet. But we've got the bets placed. So we're going to click place bets here, and then that's us done with step one. So back to the calculator. It's actually quite a decent one to have chosen in a way. So it's cost us £5 at Sky Bet, and we've got £12 in Betfair. And it says here your profit will be 0. So no matter whether the bet wins at the bookmaker or the bet wins at the exchange, we're not going to make any money. We're not going to lose any money at this stage. It's down at the bottom. It's all broken down for you. So if the bet wins at the bookmaker, we make a profit of £12. So that's £5 times 3.4 is £17. Less the £5. So that's the return. That's how much money we get back. We'll get £17 back, but £5 of that is our own money. So, take that off. So £17 less £5 is £12 profit at the bookmaker. On the exchange, we've said it won't be a draw, and it was a draw. Therefore, we've lost our liability. And our liability was £12. So here at the bottom, it says the exchange were minus £12. So the bookmaker will win £12. At the exchange, we'll lose £12. Overall, we're at £0 profit, £0 loss. There's no harm done at all. The other example is if we bet the draw, so we've backed the draw at Sky Bet, and either Bolton win or Scunthorpe win, so it's a home win or an away win, then we've lost our bet. So we've lost our £5 at the bookie. However, at the exchange, we have won because we said it wouldn't be a draw, and it wasn't. The profit that we make at the exchange is our stake, our lay stake, less any commission that we pay. So our stake was £5, and we're not paying any commission at the minute because we're on the 0% deal. So it's £5 less, well, nothing. So £5 lost at the bookie, £5 won at the exchange. Again, £0 profit or loss. So no harm done. So that's the qualifying bet. We're now, within 24 hours, we're going to receive our free bet from Sky Bet. So we're going to go back to the guide, and then Don't worry, the next section of making money from the free bet, I'll be able to rattle through that a lot quicker than that. I've obviously gone nice and slow to make sure I didn't miss anything relevant for you. So back to the guide. We've found the qualifying bet. Scroll down. We've used the calculator as shown there. Again, lots of really, really good information on this guide. So if you go in at this and you're going line by line and following the screenshots, following the information, you won't be going far wrong at all. So we're going to keep going down there. We've placed the qualifying lay bet. And now we're down to the exciting bit, which is the free bet to make your profit, which is what we all want. So we're going to use the odds matcher again. And in this scenario, we're going to receive a £20 free bet within Sky Bet, and that's within 24 hours of the qualifying bet settling. And again, that free bet is paid. You get the free bet no matter whether your bet with the bookmaker wins or loses. Down here in this table, I'll see if I can get a different color on the highlight to make it stand out a little bit more. Might go for a bright pink. We're going to look at the back odds. So within the guide, it recommends we want to use back odds of 5 or greater in order to make more profit from the free bet. So in here, we can see that if we went for back odds of around 2, our liability of the exchange would be about £15, which means that we'd retain about 50% of our free bet, which means we'd make a profit of around £10, which is still obviously a decent start. However, if we are able to have a little bit more funds available in the betting exchange or over in Betfair in this example, if we get odds around 5, our liability, so the amount we need in Betfair is £96. However, we'd retain around 80% of the free bet as profit, therefore would make around £16. So we'll be aiming around here, assuming people are starting off with about £100 in the exchange. So that's where we're going to go. All the screenshots below show us the process. So just bear with me. Clear these highlights off the screen. Now I'll use the odds matcher, but I do actually have some screenshots because I want to show you what free bets look like, so you know what you're looking for. And I've got some screenshots of what free bets look like in Sky Bet. Obviously can't open I opened my Sky Bet don't know how many years ago, so I can't open and get a free bet to show you live, but I do have screenshots of free bets that I have had recently. So back in the odds matcher, if I click the filter button again, right in the middle, sort of at the top, and I'm going to change the back odds, because if down in this back odds column, we can see that the odds are, they're all ranging from 2 upwards, which is what's relevant to the qualifying bet. So I'm just going to change that. So if I click the filter button, and over on the right hand side, I'll get the highlight on it. So I think we're stuck with hot pink for the minute. You can see the back odds there are 2. I'm going to change that to say 4.5. The guide says 5 or upwards. I'll put 4.5 just to see what comes up. Minimum liquidity. We'll also change this because the minimum liquidity by default is set to 10. So I'm going to change that to 20 because we're getting £20 worth of free bets. So I'll just say make sure you change it to the equivalent of the free bets that you're getting. So change that to 20. I'm then going to apply that filter there, the button there, just highlighted, and that'll update the odds below. All right, we can get that closed now. Right, first up, we have an interestingly named horse called Bint Australia in the 5:10 at Newcastle later on this afternoon / early evening. That's at odds of 6.5, and you can lay it at 6.8. The one below that, you've got Habit Rouge at 4.5 and 4.8. I'm just going to go for the one on the top. So we had a football bet for the first example. We'll sort of, that would be the one. If I was placing a free bet on this, I would choose this horse. I would go in, I would choose the free bet, SNR, I would change the stake. it would then tell me, I'll get the highlight on. So all I've done is I've changed it to free bet SNR. I've changed the stake as appropriate. I would change the commission again, just while I'm doing it manually for today, as appropriate. And then it's going to tell me to, oops, bear with me. Just get the highlight on again. Step 1, we're going to go to Sky Bet. We're going to bet £20. These are the odds that we're betting at. And once we've done that, so I can click that to go to Sky Bet. I might as well do that. In fact, what that's actually done over on the right-hand side, which is a really neat feature, tends to do it on horse racing more than football for Sky Bet. On the right there, I've just highlighted been to Australia. So what the odds match has done, this really, it's a good example actually. It's popped the selection straight into the bet slip, so you don't even have to go to the race and find it. You know, it's like spoon feeding you really. It's making it as easy as possible. The odds there are 11 to 2, which I can tell you are 6.5 in decimal. So if I, just for example, if I pop one in £1, you can see it returns £6.50 as a, that would return £6.50. Therefore, the odds are 6.5 in decimals. I'll just run you through a different sort of example to show you what the free bets look like within Sky Bet. So just let me clear those drawings down. Point on this, you know, once you place your bet at Sky Bet, you would then pop over to Betfair and place the corresponding lay bet. But I will run through these screenshots now. So when you've got free bets available within Sky Bet, this is some screenshots. So over on the right-hand side, you can see you will get a pop-up saying you have free bets available. Now, in this particular example, I've got £10 free bets. You will obviously get £20 of free bets when you join Sky Bet doing this information. So you'll see you've got free bets available. Sky Bet tend to credit their free bets in multiples of £5. I don't know why, they just do. So once you've, I'm just trying to, just bear with me while I get to the next tab. It's proving a little tricky. Once you click that, it then opens up and shows you the free bets. A good thing about Sky Bet free bets actually is you see it says no expiry. A lot of free bets expire within so many days. These ones don't. In this example, I picked a horse called Genie. And then what you'll see on Sky Bet, again over on the right hand side, I've highlighted it in the red box, but there it's like a little gift box. So you're going to click the gift box. That's better. I've got access to my screen. Once you click the gift box, it'll then pop up again, showing you the free bets you have available. So again, yours will be showing £20 in free bets. These are little tick boxes. So you're going to tick the bets that you want to use. You can use all of them in one go, or if you've got less money, you could perhaps do one at a time. It's entirely up to you. So I've ticked both of them here. You click apply, and then that applies the free bets to your bet slip. So we can see on this example, £10 in free bets were applied, and the orange bit next to the bet slip is filled in. But here, where you would normally enter your stake, you see it's totally blank. It's totally blank. So you're not using any of your own cash. You are using the £10 in free bets. On to the next bit down at the bottom. Hopefully you can see that. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit, perhaps. Down at the bottom, it says place bet, big green button. You place your bet, and below that it says includes £10 in free bets. So again, yours would obviously say £20 in free bets. It will then get a confirmation showing you that you've placed your bet successfully. It will show you the little gift box and the amount of free bets you've used. So if you've used all 20, it'll show £20. So it's basically showing this example that you've used £10 of free bets and £0 of real cash, and you can get returned £90 if the selection wins. And then over on Betfair, it then breaks down from there what the profit would have been. So, for example, on that one, you know, free bet SNR, I'll get the highlight on, bear with me. Free bet SNR, The Sky Bet stake on that one was £10, and it told us the amount to go over and lay at Betfair at the odds of 10.5, and it told us our profit would then be £8.40. So you go over to Betfair, you place those lay bets, confirm the bets, you get a bet confirmation page, which is there, and then you've made the profit from your calculator. So that's just to show you what the screenshots look like. In this example here, where we've got the £20, so you would have clicked through to Sky Bet. You would have clicked through to Sky Bet and placed your £20 stake. Step 2, we'll do step 2 now, which is go to Betfair, and it wants us to lay £16.18 at odds of 6.8. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click go to Betfair. Once again, it redirects you. It doesn't really matter for Betfair so much. It's more about the bookmakers. But it's taken us straight through to the market we're expecting to see. I'll get the highlight tool on. It's the 5-10 at Newcastle. The horse that we're looking to lay in against is Bint Australia. So remember, we placed £20 stake at Sky Bet at odds of 6.5. We're going across this row. We're looking for the pink, always think pink. And we can see the lay odds are 6.8. So if I click that over on the right-hand side now, it's asking for the lay stake, which is on here, £16.18. So I'm going to type that in there. It's now come up on the right-hand side showing a liability of £93.84. So if I go back to here, we can see below our liability is £93.84, which is exactly what we expect to see. Therefore, you would then go and click place bets and then confirm your bets, and then that's you done. And you are now, if you place these exact bets, if you jump on, you can probably get on this race and use it for your free bet tonight. You're now made a profit of around £16.16, a minimum profit of £16.16. So we'll go through how that's broken down, and then I'll be ready to take any questions. So down at the bottom, we backed Bint Australia at Sky Bet with our £20 free bet. If the horse wins the race, then at the bookmaker, we make a profit of £110. So that's quite simply £20 times 6.5 is £130. Remember, we don't get the stake returned. It's SNR, stake not returned. So we take the £20 off. Therefore, we've got £110 of profit. So £110 profit at the bookmaker. Over at the exchange, we laid against the horse. We said that horse will not win the race. It didn't. It did win. Therefore, we've lost at the exchange. So we were correct at the bookmaker. We were wrong at the exchange. So we've won £110 at the bookmaker, and we've lost our bet at the exchange. Therefore, we've lost our liability, which was £93.84. So overall, 110 minus 93.84 would give us a profit of £16.16. The other scenario is that the horse doesn't win the race. So if the horse doesn't win the race, so the bet at the exchange wins, then at the bookmaker, we've lost nothing. It's zero because we weren't using our money. We were using a free bet. We were using the bookmaker's money. So our loss is zero. Over at the exchange, we've won our stake, less any commission that we pay. So our stake was £16.18. We're paying 0% commission because we're on the OddsMonkey deal. So therefore, we've got a zero loss at the bookie plus a 16.18 win at the exchange. So whichever way, we've got just over a £16 profit, less whatever we lost on the qualifying bet, which if you remember was zero. So all of that ties in quite nicely. We've made £16 profit, which if we go back to the dashboard, we will see for the final highlight, Sky Bet in the bottom right corner of it there, it says we expect to make £16 profit. So I hope that's been useful. You would take that Sky Bet process, you would apply it to Betfred. It's exactly the same process, just a different bookmaker. There's a same process with the Smarkets, albeit that is another exchange. They have a nice welcome offer, and you take the same process to Coral. So if you can do one, you can do all of those. I will sort of just have a look through for any questions, and just let me clear these highlights off the screen. So first things first. Right, I've been asked, bear with me, am I making a recording of this? Yes, we are. So yeah, there'll be a recording out here. Once you've received your profit from the free bet, what do you do next? Quite simple. You go on to the next offer and make more profits from that. So we went through the Sky Bet example there, and we made £16 by using obviously the OddsMonkey software, which kind of spoon feeds you all the information you need. Once you've done that, go straight on to tutorial 5. So if your bet has won at the bookmaker, so your bet won at Sky Bet, so you've got, let's say, £100 in Sky Bet, just withdraw all the money. So take your £100 out, withdraw it back to your bank account, and then re-deposit it at the next, deposit what's needed at the next bookmaker. Follow the same process. You'll end up with a profit. If you follow all the steps and you go line by line, you will end up with a profit at the end of it. We obviously never know whether if you're betting on a horse, you don't know whether the horse is actually going to win the race or not. So sometimes your bet will win at the bookmaker, sometimes your bet will lose. If the bet loses at the bookmaker, then you're going to end up with most of your money in the betting exchange. If your bets keep winning at the bookies, you end up with your money in the bookies. It doesn't matter. All these bookies are safe and tested, and if you win at them, you can just withdraw your money and get on to the next one. When you're starting out, it's going to take a few days for your money to arrive back with you, which can be a bit of a pain, if you're starting out on a smaller budget. But it is what it is. But once you've got through it all, as your bankroll grows, you'll be able to do more concurrent offers, more things at the same time. But yeah, essentially you start working through the offers. Now, this is the free dashboard that we're looking at present. So you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 bookmaking opportunities available, which if I just quickly top them up, that's going to be 40, that's £63 profit available just from the free accounts. In fact, I didn't need to top it up. It says at the top of the screen. Once you've got through these, if you do decide to go to the premium version, which by the way, I may as well just mention, there's a special offer here, which is £1 premium access for 14 days with the code webinar offer 1. So, make a note of that. It's a really, really good deal. I don't think you'll get as good a deal by going direct to the site. So if you sign up for £1 for 14 days, you can cancel at any point you wish. The full money back refund, I'm pretty sure, applies to your first 30 days of membership. So you use that offer, webinar offer 1, and you can get access to what we've just seen and a lot more besides. So if I just go back to the dashboard, these are the free offers, which obviously don't cost you a penny to get started with. If you then go to premium and you use that webinar offer 1, on the offers menu, you can see there's a drop down there. It says new account offers bookmakers. I'll just click into there. These, you've got the beginners step by step. These are the ones you get for free. Then below that, we've got bet X, get X. So that was what we just had. Sky Bet, we had to bet X, bet £5, and we received X, which was £20 in that case. So there's a whole host of other bookmakers with the same type of offers. Again, there's full guides for all of these. Some of them they've got difficulty rankings, easy, average, and hard. But if you work down this page, the offers, I believe, are worth over the profits from. If you just go through all of these one by one, there's over £1,000 of profits in similar manner to what we've just gone through. Because there's a ridiculous amount of bookmakers, as you can see. I'll just scroll down. We won't stop and look at every one, but there's different methods for each one. Some of them get a bit more involved as you go down, and then there's also a nice guide on ones to avoid, because there are a lot of bookmakers. Some of them you want to stay away from. So these are all the bookmakers that we recommend that have been tested by the staff. But yeah, over £1,000 of profits on those. So that's you getting started with your, let's say, match betting journey. That don't make the mistake of once you get to the end of doing the sign-up offers, don't think that's the end of it. Well, I've joined all the bookmakers, therefore I can't make any more profits. That's just the beginning, because once you've done that, if you do have a premium membership, then there's a thing here called the daily offer calendar, which again I can't show you on the screen, but essentially on the website there is a calendar, and every day of the week it shows you what bookmaker offers are available. So with Cheltenham coming up, for example, Cheltenham's coming up in a few weeks. So if you've never done match betting before, this is like the perfect time to join, because you've got sort of 2 or 3 weeks here to get signed up to several bookmakers. And then when Cheltenham comes around, you've already got your accounts open, you've made some profits, so you've got a little bit more extra cash. And then the bookmakers go absolutely crazy at Cheltenham. They throw out loads of free bets, giving you opportunities to make more money. The daily offer calendar collates all that information and then shows you on the calendar, right, here's an offer for the day. And similar to what we've just gone through, gives you a guide telling you what to do. So it'll say, right, at this bookmaker, this is the offer. Here's how much you can make, and here's how you do it. And here's a link to, let's say, whether it's the odds matcher, or on the drop down menu on the matches, there's other matches. It's not on there because of the free version, but on there you'll see there's a couple actually: each way matcher, extra place matcher. What you also get on the main site is the racing matcher, which looks at all of the there's an example. Just to click it, you'll see there's a horse racing offers for a particular day, and it shows you the date, the time of the race, and allows you to go in, and you're not having to look around for the bets that you need to back and lay. The software does it all for you, so that it means you can do more bets, and the more bets and the more offers that you do, the more money that you'll make. So yeah, it's quite a good time to join. Just having a quick read through. Somebody's asking, James has asked, hi James, does this only work with free bets? No, obviously the example that I've shown does take you through the free bets, welcome offers, and then there are daily free bet offers available. But there are lots and lots of different types of offers available within the main service, the main OddsMonkey service, for example. So, the extra place matcher, again, this is one that becomes quite critical during Cheltenham. You got the extra place matcher, you've got the each way matcher. The each way matcher, you can make profits on horse races every day of the week without there even being an offer or a free bet available on the race. The software is looking for discrepancies between the sort of the back price at the bookmaker and the lay odds of the win market and the lay odds of the place market at the exchange, and it allows you to place. You can go to the bookie, place a bet. You can lay a bet at the exchange against the win, lay a bet at the exchange against the place, and you can make a profit. Depending on the stakes, it could be £2 here or there. It could be £5. It could be 50p. Just depends on what your stakes are. But you could do that, every day, and there's no free bets involved. Similar with the extra place matcher, when Cheltenham comes around, for example, loads of the races, pretty much all the races and all the bookmakers will be offering extra places. So normally, if you've got an 8-horse, an 8-runner field, 8 horses in a race, you normally get paid out with 3 places at the bookies. During Cheltenham, if there were 8 horses in the race, you'd be getting paid out at 4 places. So there are methods and there's software that can enable you to make some profits from that too. There's also things on football. So that's the long answer. The short answer is no, it's not just for free bets, but there's plenty to go at. Stacey said it's been really useful. Thank you very much. Would you consider doing another webinar on horse racing in preparation for Cheltenham? I will certainly pass that on to the powers that be. I'm sure they're listening. Laurie has asked, how did the bookies know that you are arbing? Quite simple, really. So the bookies themselves, every bookmaker nowadays uses they have Betfair betting exchange accounts, so they have their own exchange accounts. So if they receive a lot of money on a particular horse or a particular football team or tennis player, whatever it may be, they will lay bets off at the exchange. They will go to the exchange and lay money off themselves to sort of hedge their bets, to sort of balance their books. So they're doing that. So, OddsMonkey, for example, have got the wonderful odds matching software. You can basically bet your bottom dollar that the bookmakers have, excellent software too. So they're, the bookmakers obviously know exactly what their odds are at any given moment, and they know probably at the exact same moment, same way the odds matcher works, they'll know exactly what the odds are at the exchange for the same selection. So therefore, if you're a punter and you come along and you're betting something that's above 100%, i.e. an ARB, so that's where the odds at the bookmaker are higher than they are at the exchange, which if you just back and lay, that allows you to lock in a profit without any free bets involved. If you place that bet, at that moment while the bookie odds are higher than the exchange odds, the bookie knows that, because the bookie knows their odds. So I'm pretty sure that they can quite easily just pop a little flag, let's say, a little mark on your account that this person took an ARB. Now, I've made dozens of mistakes, and I don't think taking the odd ARB here or there is major cause for concern. I mean, I've when I say the odd ARB here or there, I mean like you've done it in error. The problem comes is if you start doing it as a regular thing, and that to be regular with a bookie, that may only mean that you need to do three of them or four of them. But if you just do 3, 4, 5 ARBs all in a row, all with the same bookmaker, they're just going to go, right, this person's trying to use arbitrage betting, and we don't want that type of business. So yeah, basically they're monitoring, they know what their odds are, they're monitoring the exchange odds, and obviously they know what odds you took when you placed the bet, so they can mark you as an arbor. What you don't need to be sort of worried about so much, in my experience with this, is especially if you're placing a bet on a horse race and the horse race is, let's say, 10 minutes before the race is due to start. If you place a bet on a horse and the odds are 5.00, and at the time you placed the bet, the lay odds were 5.2, so it's not an ARB, the lay odds were higher. But by the time you've placed your bet at 5.00 and you go over to the exchange to place your lay bet, the odds have moved and they've come down to 4.6. Great. Place your lay bet, you got a guaranteed profit from your qualifying bet, no problem at all. At the point of consumption, let's say, at the point you place the bet, it wasn't an ARB, so don't worry the fact that it's moved into an ARB. That's just a bit of good luck. Sometimes it goes against you as well. Mike has asked if it's still worth joining even if you have accounts with all the main bookies. Yeah, if your accounts are also, let's say unrestricted, you've not been had the dreaded gub stick on them all, then yeah, there's still value within OddsMonkey. Again, there are methods that even if you're not getting free bets, things like the each ways and extra places, a lot of the bookmakers will still pay you out on the extra places, so you can use things like the extra places. So again, for Cheltenham, that's probably where there's a massive festival, and then going to be closely followed in April by the Grand National, and then we should have the normal full summer of sport resuming, I would imagine. So things like Ascot will become, and Goodwood later in the year. So all things like placing each way bets, placing the extra place bets, and getting paid out if you hit the extra place, those are things that you can all use. If your accounts don't have any restrictions, or you haven't been gubbed, you haven't been the bookies haven't decided they don't want your action for any particular reason, then the ongoing daily offer calendar will allow you to make money from different bookies on different days for different events. So yeah, there's plenty of value regardless of whether you've got all the accounts. What I would say, depending on the last time you went through and opened a load of bookie accounts, you'll probably find that the new account welcome offers within OddsMonkey, there's probably half a dozen or so bookmakers that you haven't joined. Every every few months I always do a quick roundup and go, oh, hang on a minute, there's a new bookmaker I need to I need to consider. So yeah, the bookmakers keep coming out of nowhere, it seems, as a lot of bookmakers are grouped together. So as the group grows and they get obviously more money, they open a new bookmaker, which just gives us another place to make some money. Can we just going through the other questions? Tracy said that she's already got accounts with lots of bookies and Betfair. Should I just search for free bets from bookies I haven't joined? Yes, I mean, you can do if you want to go away and obviously have a bash at it yourself. All I would say is you need to be very mindful of whatever the terms and conditions are on any particular bookmaking offer. The T's and C's are what really matter. So, you know, when I did the quick little run through on, I'll just put the webinar code up for people just to make sure you've got that down. When I did the run through of sort of the welcome offers available in OddsMonkey, for example, there is a section there on offers to avoid. And within there, there's a list of bookies to avoid and the reasons to avoid them. So you need to be, genned up and make sure that you're aware of what not to do. OddsMonkey obviously make it easy by providing a full guide for each offer, and any bookmaker that is listed on OddsMonkey, they will the offer has been tested by some of their staff and to make sure that everything works and that the bookmaker seems obviously honourable and pays you out. So just be careful out there. There are literally hundreds of bookmakers, and not all of them, unfortunately, are scrupulous. So OddsMonkey does all the vetting and testing for you. So I would say it's probably worth considering joining OddsMonkey, especially for the £1 for 2 weeks. I mean, you've got 2 weeks there, and if you don't find it any use, just cancel really. But yeah, I'd go through the OddsMonkey process and sort of gen up from there, to be honest, Tracy. Adam has asked, how do you place the bets to make money? Well, I went through that in the webinar, really. We follow the guide. We use the odds matcher software, and okay, Tracy, thanks. I'll just come back to Tracy's question in a minute, but I'll just finish with you, Adam. How do you place the bets to make the money? Yeah, I mean, let's go to if I can find the dashboard. If I just click the home page, go back to the dash. I'm not going to go through it again, people, don't worry. But, you come into the guide, obviously you go line by line, you read it, you go to the bookmaker and you just follow the steps, and as long as you follow the guide, whichever guide it may be, you should get close to the profit that's listed on that particular guide. And right, Tracy, when you were asking about you join lots of bookies, etc., you were on about with OddsMonkey, so that's obviously good. On the menu at the top, then I'll just quickly go in again. So offers, new account offers, bookmakers we've got there. So you go in here, basically. So you'd work through the beginning guides, but then you've got all these other offers to look at, be it Virgin Bet, William Hill, BetDat, Betway, 888 Sport, they go on and on and on. Just work through, click into any of these. I can click into them, but it's not going to show me the information because it's not a premium account. But yeah, you would just follow, and the guides are all presented in the same easy to follow format as we've just sort of gone through during the webinar. So yeah, takes your picks out from that page, really. Let's see what else we've got. Alan's asked, has the webinar been recorded? Yeah, it is currently recording, so there will be a recording available. I'm not sure if that goes onto the YouTube channel or whether that will be sent out via email. Farhat has asked, do you have a spreadsheet to note who you have signed up with? That's a really good question, and something that I probably omitted, to be perfectly honest. So within the guide, I'll go to the odds matcher again. So I've got the odds matcher open here. So I'll pick this horse that we had in the webinar. You know, we chose that and we said we're going to have a free bet and we're going to stake £20 at a commission of 0. Right, and we achieved the profit of £16.16. There's two ways you can keep track of where you're up to. So down at the bottom there, there's a big button. I'll get the highlight on it. There's a button there that says log bet, which if you click that, does what it says. It says your bet has been saved to the profit tracker. And there's a button there that says take me to the profit tracker. So if I do that, it now shows me how wonderful that today I've made £16. In February, I've made £16. Overall, I've made £16. And it shows me here that the event that I made that money on and my statistics. Lots of nice graphics. Obviously, the more you do, the more that gets populated. So that's one way of knowing, obviously, what you've done. The other way is when you're within an offer. So if I go back to the tutorials page, if I go back to Sky Bet, on the right-hand side, I'll just get the highlight tool again. See, there's a box there that says mark is complete. If I tick that, that means that this is now marked as complete. So when I go to the new account offers on this page, the new account offers page, let me just clear those highlights. The tutorial for Sky Bet has now disappeared. Same, you know, once you've gone through, let's say, tutorial 1, your match betting intro, so you've gone through the guide there, you've watched the video and you're quite comfortable with the mechanics, you could just come on here and you can click mark as complete and that'll disappear. You can go on the next one, you know, you've read about the betting exchanges, you've joined Betfair, mark is complete. So as you're sort of going through, you can tick them off. Don't worry, they've not gone forever. Just up here, there's a list of the ones you've completed, which is here, which is fine. So yeah, as you go through the page, you can just tick them off. So I hope that helps, Farhat. Davinia says thank you. That's is informative. You're more than welcome. Adam, yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to get the recording over. Just quickly see if I've got any more questions that I've missed. I think we've... Oh, Kyle has asked. Hello. Right. Hi, Kyle. Sorry I missed your question. He says, you're a little bit worried about uploading personal documents for age verification. Are the sites secure in that regard? Yeah, absolutely. It's part and parcel of signing up, really. The bookmakers, under sort of gambling commission regulations, I believe that's the correct sort of methods, that they have to do a thing known as KYC, which is know your customer. So that basically involves the customer has to prove two things. One, that they're resident, let's say, in the UK, and two, well, you know, resident in the country that they say they are, because, you know, you could be in the UK watching this, you could be in Ireland watching this, for example. But one, that they're resident in the country that they say they are, and two, I suppose more importantly, that they're over the age of 18 and therefore legal to gamble in the territory that they, the country that they live in. So that's generally done by uploading. It could be a government issued ID, so it could be a driving license or passport photo, or it could be, and then that covers obviously the fact that you are who you say you are, and the fact that you're over the age of 18. And then they may ask for a proof of address, and the proof of address can just be, you know, a front of a bank statement. You know, what I do when I send off any proof of addresses, I just cover up any, if I send a bank statement, I just cover up my transactions, because that's none of their business. I cover it up with a little piece of paper so they can just see my name and address and the fact that it's from the bank, and they can see it's a real statement, for example. But it could be a utility bill or a credit card bill or anything of that ilk, something sort of official that you probably had to, let's say, be verified to receive, because you're not going to receive a credit card bill or a bank statement unless you've been verified by the bank in the first place. So it's got to be something like that rather than a handwritten note to yourself. And yeah, the for security, yeah, all of the bookmakers, whenever you join a bookie, the main thing, I guess, really is, if I pull this screen down a little bit, in the corner there, you want to see that the connection is secure. So if you do that, make sure that you're checking for the site connection being secure, which they all are at all the bookies. So that's nothing to be concerned about. It's part and parcel of the process. It's a bit of a pain in the bum when you first start out, but you only need to do it once when you first sign up, and then that's you done and away with that bookie. Bookies are slightly different on all of it. So some bookies may ask you straight away, not many. Some bookies may ask you when you try to make a withdrawal. Some bookies may ask months into betting with them. It may be that they've got a particular amount of withdrawals or a particular amount of deposits. Once you trigger that, then they'll ask you the question. But either way, it's not anything that I have any concerns about. It's just something you need to do. One more question from Laurie has asked about gubbing. Gubbing, for everybody, just to be clear, gubbing is a funny term. I think Susie Beth in OddsMonkey, she said it's come from some old Scottish word. I have no reason to disbelieve her. But yeah, gubbing basically means that your account has been restricted in some way. That could be the bookmaker emailing you and saying, thanks, but no thanks. We're not going to give you any more free bets in future. It could be the bookmaker saying, well, you can keep placing bets with us, but we're going to limit your maximum bet stakes to £5 or £10 or £1. Depends what it is. But gubbing basically means in some way you've had a sort of restriction placed on your accounts. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be that they don't want to give you any more free bets. So there is, within the guides, again, at your leisure, within the sort of general tips, general guides section, before you sort of run off joining all the bookmakers, within the training, I would recommend you go through all of the guides. There we are. There's a guide there on account restrictions and gubbing. So, go through that in detail. Go through all these guides, tick them off as you can. It'll obviously put you in good stead and give you a bit more knowledge. But the question was, is gubbing avoidable, or do you have to accept it will happen? It's not avoidable. You have to accept it. For the most part, there are things we can do to avoid it. So, I've got accounts with Paddy Power, for example. I've had my Paddy Power account for donkey's years. Again, I'm not sure how long. I'm going to say at least 10 years, at least. Quite a while. And it's still ungubbed. I still get free bets. I still get promotions. And, everything seems to tick away quite nicely. However, some people may join Paddy Power, and within 2 months, they may get the dreaded, we're not giving you any more free bets email. Now, what tends to be the case, we don't know for sure exactly why people get gubbed, but there are certain things we do know that bookies immediately don't like. So I mentioned about arbing. So when using the odds matcher, don't use any selections that are over 100%. So on here, the rating 91%. You don't want to be using anything that's over 100%. If I remove, there's a cap on this, but if I remove the cap, we may see some over 100%. Oh no, not on Sky Bet today. Let's try again. Nope, nothing doing for Sky Bet. But basically, if there was anything over 100%, then you want to stay away from those. That's known as an ARB. Bookies don't like ARBs. So that's a real sort of no-no. Also, I would recommend when it comes to placing your bets, if you're going to place a bet, you need to place a £10 bet, let's say on any football market, to qualify for a free bet on something. You're far better placing that £10 bet on, let's say, a Premier League match or a Champions League match than you are the third division in Azerbaijan. You know, you're always better betting with the masses. So don't go off betting with, sort of minor leagues around Europe or around the world. You want to bet on big matches, big horse races, big events, because that's where the majority of people are betting. So if you're betting on Liverpool, you can be sure that a lot of other people are also betting on Liverpool, so you're not going to stand out like a sore thumb. Whereas if you're going off betting on a team in the Turkish fourth division, you're probably not going to be many of you betting on that, so you're going to stand out a bit more. So yeah, bet with the masses. Tirza has asked, last point on that, Laurie, about the gubbins. Some bookies, there's a couple of bookies who they're a bit useless, to be honest. So you basically you'll join them, you get the welcome offer out of them, and you'll probably get a few ongoing offers from them as well, and then they'll close you pretty quick. I won't bother naming names today, but yeah, there's a couple of them. So I guarantee there's at least two bookies off the top of my head who will sort of gub you probably within sort of 6, 7, 8 weeks. In my experience, however, that's not an issue, because if you've seen the sheer amount of bookies we have, these keep us earning money for a long time to come from the regular ongoing offers each day and each week. Tirza has asked, is it normal for the exchange to take the liability money before the sporting event has taken place? Yes. Yeah. The money is out there. You need to, you're basically putting your money up. So in the same way at the bookmaker, you're saying that a particular thing is going to happen, and the bookmaker has set certain odds and you want those odds. You can't you can't go to the bookmaker after the event and say, right, I thought that horse would win and I was going to put £10 on it. Can you pay me out? They'll tell you to go away in probably stronger terms. But so you have to actually, if you're paying £5 on that, you need to put £5 in, and you need to commit that bet at the bookmaker. So that bet is committed. Exactly the same principle at the exchange. You are effectively sort of acting as a bookmaker in a way. You're offering odds to someone else. You're placing your lay bet, but your liability will always be your stake multiplied by the lay odds, and that's the liability. That's how much money you need in the exchange. That's what you can potentially lose at the exchange. Obviously, that loss at the exchange, as long as you follow the steps, is always offset by what you are potentially going to win at the bookmaker. So yeah, but once you put that lay bet into the exchange, that liability is then sort of that's sort of ring fenced for that bet. So the liability is taken up. So if you had £100 starting balance at Betfair, for example, and in the example that we did on the Odds Matcher, I don't know if it's still available on there. No, but in the example that we did on the Odds Matcher, I think the liability on the free bet, was around £94, if I remember correctly. So if you had £100 balance at Betfair, and you place your lay stake at the exchange, and the liability is £94, then your balance available for any other bets now in Betfair would be £6. So that liability is taken up until that event is settled. So yeah, the bookie takes you. The exchange sort of obviously puts your money to one side for that to cover in the event that you lose. Okay, I think that's probably about it. I hope that's been useful. Thanks all for joining me. I do enjoy these. It's always nice to go through and share a bit of sort of the knowledge, I guess. I wish you all the very best. If you do decide to get signed up, I'll just mention, without sounding too much like a big sales pitch, webinar offer 1. Because I don't think you'll get a better offer going to the site direct. If you do decide to sign up, the OddsMonkey staff are great. They have a load of help support. Any of the offers actually as well, you can get support on the forum. You can drop support emails and you get a reply. Support runs 7 days a week, which is great. And there's no silly questions. Any issues you may have or anything you get stuck with, it's been asked 1,000 times before and they can help. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. Wish you all the very best of luck with it, and I shall see you perhaps on the next one. Take care, everybody. Have a good week.